Hello, everybody. It's good to be back with you. It's been too long. I'm not going to let it go this long in between videos before. Again, unless I do. You know, it's never my intention, but sometimes it happens anyway. So this is actually this video is in response to a listener who wrote in, a watcher, whatever, who wrote in and asked that question. And what she wrote in was what she wanted to know: can we control our own thoughts? And it is something that is talked about a great deal. And I know that that the manifestors, you know, will tell you what to think and how how often you think and how and this and that and the other. And that's fine if you want to follow manifesting, fine, but don't look for confirmation of manifesting here because you won't find it. And there are other people, I mean, like the confidence guys, you know, and I used to follow those kinds of people when I was a salesman, you know, which is the positive thinking guys, and they would tell you to think positive and just stay positive and do positive things and live positively and all this, and then your life would be a delight. Nobody ever got hurt thinking positively, unless it was, you know, I think I can outrun that car. But I mean, I'm just saying that positive thinking, there's nothing wrong with it, but except for the fact that my real answer on can we control our thoughts or not is, who are you talking about? Because I can't control my thoughts because there's no I here. I mean, there's a sense of being here, and I can say that I have a sense that I am. I have a very strong sense that I am, but the I in that thing is not. When I say I am, I don't mean this. When I say I am, I mean the animating presence that's here. The things that's allowing this body to move and to talk and to hear and to I'm just out of the skillful means clarity session just minutes ago, and I heard myself say in that session that I referred to awakeness as that which allows. Right, and it just slipped out, and I really like that which allows, because it is. It's already allowing. It's already allowing this. It's allowing this to be exactly as it is, which is more than we can do, most of us. So hats off to awakeness, but it is that which allows. It allows this to be as it is anyway. And when we want to control our thoughts, it's chiefly going to be because we are in resistance to this, even if it's very subtle, which is I can't wait until I have a house or a Mercedes or a big bank account or the perfect mate or whatever it is that I'm after. I just can't wait for that. So I'm going to think in a certain way to draw that in. But I want to know who that I is. Right, the I that says that we can control our thoughts, or can we control our thoughts? I want to know who we is. Right, I don't know anything about a we that can control or not control their thoughts. There's no I here, so there's certainly no me here, and there's no we here. Right, there's nobody there either. See that there's a unit watching this program, and it's actually awakeness. Hello, awakeness. Nice to see you. That's watching this program, but it may think it's a unit over there, or it may know it's awakeness. Many who watch this will know it's awakeness, but there will be lots and lots of people who watch it that don't know. And the units through which awakeness has come to know itself consciously are actually fine with this, because the units through which awakeness has come to see itself consciously, they see that there's nothing other than this. There's nothing more than this, and there's nothing less. There's nothing bigger or better than this, and there's nothing smaller or worse. There's this, and there's just this as it is. And when we're trying to control our thoughts, it's probably because we think something else should be going on other than what is going on. And if we're thinking that something should be going on other than what is going on, then we are almost certainly misidentified as a unit, as this body, as this, as if there's a doer here, a talker here, a mover and shaker. None of that's true. None of that's true. So it's just the coming to recognize that whether we can control our thoughts or not is a moot point. Now, let's go to the paradoxical side of this. There is no one who can control anyone's thoughts because there's just no one there. Nonetheless, we can be willing, we can just simply be open. Betsy was talking today. I had a couple of big insights in the living room right before the meeting. And I told Betsy about them. I said, I can't believe it's sitting down there in the living room. And here comes this astonishing insight. And I was, wow, that's great. What a day. And then 5 minutes later, here came another one. And she says, well, you're just always thinking about it. And I said, no, I'm not. I really am not thinking about it. And she said, well, you're always, I don't know what she said, but she said something. I said, no, I said, I'm always open to it. Now, there's no I here to say I'm always open to it, but that's the language Betsy and I were using, and we understood what we meant, which was that that's the way it will look and feel within relativity. But that doesn't mean that that's the way that things really are. It just means that that's the way it looks. That's the way it looks, and that's the way it feels, and that's the way it will be reported. But actually, I don't have a quarrel with this. So, what I want to control my thoughts, I'd have to find out who that is. Which is, let's compare that to the manifestors. The manifestors are saying, and I've got nothing against manifestation. I mean, if you're doing it, that's fine, but you need to probably get out of here because I'm just not going to encourage that. Because just like who can control their thoughts, I want to know who the manifestor is, right? And I want to know why, since if you know that you are the one thing going on, I want to know why in the hell you're so interested in improving that unit's life, right? By bringing it money or mates or cars or whatever the hell it is that thing has an interest in. It's, I got to get this I got to get this for me. I am good. I am bountiful. I'm whatever the world. But there's no one there. And given that there's no one there, I want to tell you that I as awakeness, misidentified as Fred, I knew what was good for Fred. I just did. I just knew exactly what was good for Fred. And I ruined Fred's life chasing it. And I appeared to have manifested a bunch of stuff back in my day. Don't think there's anything new about this. I mean, I was doing this stuff 50 years ago. Yeah. And 45 anyway, 45 years ago. I really was. And the Think and Grow Rich and all that kind of stuff, and the positive thinkers and the mastermind group and the magic of believing and all this stuff that salesmen read to stay jacked up and to stay, because it gets lonely and fearful out there as a salesman. You're by yourself. You got people that don't want to see you, this and that and the other, and you got people that nobody wants to see a salesman coming, but everybody needs a salesman when they need one to help them purchase something. and to help them find out what it is, etc. But it gets pretty lonely out there. It gets pretty discouraging out there. So it's always nice to know that you got a higher power in your pocket, that you can spring on them, that you can sort of you can spring on yourself when you're feeling lonely and dejected. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of this. There's nothing wrong. How about that? There's nothing wrong. Everything is perfect just as it is. So in order for me to, why would I want to control thought when everything's already fine? That's my experience of thought, if you will, is that I think everything's fine. And there's no one here to think, but that's how it looks. That's how it feels. That's what it would be. It actually is not how it feels, but it's how it would look. And that's the way it would be reported. But there's no thinker. And there's no thinker over here, and don't think there's a thinker over there either, because there's not. You know, we come down to there's no doer. Well, I can help you see that, but I can, you know, before we go there, we need to see that there's no thinker, because the doer, the sense of doership arises from the sense of thinkership. And that's what was happening earlier today, was that Betsy brought something up, and she was just saying something. I mean, it's not like, this was a test of her non-dual awakeness or mine, but I just found that I needed to express that clearly, not for her sake, but for mine, because it would help me to be clear enough. So who knows, there might be a third insight out there right around the corner. Hell, I want to be clear enough for that to arrive. I am open to that. Who said that? Nobody. There's no one open but it feels even that awakeness. I am open to that. I am open. I am openness itself. I am that which allows. I am that which allows. I am allowing you to be exactly as you are right now. And let's, if you could control your thoughts, just check to see if you're not barking up the wrong tree there. I mean, if you could control your own thoughts, wouldn't you always think happy thoughts? I mean, I would just think happy thoughts, because happy thoughts are pleasant and sad thoughts are unpleasant, generally. So I would want to have the most pleasant experience on the planet that I could. So I would just think happy thoughts, but I can't just think happy thoughts, because I'm not the thinker. I'm not doing it. Thoughts arise. That's the thing to remember. Thoughts arise, but they're unowned thoughts. No one owns them. They don't arise to anybody. They don't arise for anybody. Thoughts arise. And what happens is, when we allow unquestioned thoughts in our door, so to speak, we will believe them. These units are hooked up to automatically believe thought. It's just the way of Maya. That's the way of Maya. These human beings are hooked up to believe in thought. So if we only have one alternative, if thought arises, we're gonna believe it. That's the default position. So we have to be willing to go beyond that default position. And we have to be willing to question thought as it arises. Questioning something long afterwards, it may be beneficial, and we may learn something from that or something, but it's already, the consequences will already be in place. But if I can notice thought as it arises and question it then my circumstances, my experiences will simply be better, but will be less stressful, less painful, less suffering, because I won't let negative, that's not negative, but I won't let untrue thoughts dominate my life. Yeah. And, except for when I do, but that's not often anymore. But it was a time when it was constant. And then it became a little less constant. Then it became a little less constant than that. And gradually, which is not what I wanted. I wanted everything immediately. I want a big payoff, and I want it now. I want the big score, and I want the one and done. Well, awakening is not about one and done. It just is not. I mean, for most people, it will be there will be some sort of experience. There will be some sort of moment of clarity or whatever. But for most people, it's not going to be, like clouds and thunder and, and God talking directly to us and, and fairies and flowers and all that. It's just not. For most of us, awakening is just coming to see, wow, there's no Fred here. There's no anybody here. Gee, there's only here. And if we get to watching longer than that, as somebody talked about, somebody that woke up in Skillful Means last week, reported this week that he had an experience where everything disappeared for about 40 minutes. Now that's a spiritual experience, but a spiritual experience of that magnitude is only arising to awakeness. It's not arising to an individual. It's awakeness noticing the truth of no thing. But we had another person in there who's also woken up, but his brother woke up without attending Skillful Means. And his brother did it on the cheap, which annoys the hell out of me, you might imagine. But his brother woke up this week and he was saying, well, there's only isness. Yeah, and it sounds like the brother really woke up to me. And he had some other quotes. And the guy obviously had a non-dual awakening. Now the challenge is that awakening going to remain open? Or is that awakening going to shut down like 99% of the other awakenings? I say 99%, that may be a little high, but it ain't very high. Because most people that have a tremendous number of people will have a non-dual experience in their life. There will be, as a woman in Skillful Means today, she said that, that she had an experience, I don't remember when it was, a couple of years ago maybe, and that, and I asked her, was there any doubt during that experience, was there any doubt whatsoever as to what was that what you were experiencing was true, and what was happening was truth? And she said none whatsoever. And that's the telltale sign of awakening, is that there's no doubt whatsoever, and that there is just absolute conviction during the experience, and confusion sets in after the conviction is blown away by the challenges of relativity. Boop. So true conviction is when there is that absolute knowledge without there being a spiritual experience, without there just being this experience. But I mean, when we talk about spiritual experience, I can't find an unspiritual experience. I can't find anything unspiritual, because there's nothing but spirit. There's nothing but awakeness. And you're not awake. You're not failing to be awake. You've never been awake. I've never been awake. There's an I, meaning the unit, the I am awakeness itself. I am awakeness itself. And if you've had a non-dual experience, that was not that character. It was not Bob or Tom or Carol coming to see the truth. It was awakeness coming to see that there was nobody home. The clarity doesn't arise to a Fred, or Kimberly was who I'm thinking about right now. It doesn't arise to a Fred or a Kimberly. It arises only in the absence of Fred and Kimberly. So when you think that you have just had a big awakening of what's happening, and that oh my God, I had an awakening and I can't believe it, and then I lost it, I'm trying to get it back. You think that unit had an awakening, but it did not. What happened, there's no way, because it doesn't have the potential to. The unit never wakes up, the character never wakes up. We hear this. And it's true. That's why we hear it. And because you cannot wake up to what you already are. All you can do is notice it because you're already awake. Everybody listening to this, you're already awake. I swear to God, you're already awake. You don't know it yet. So when I when I talk about the fact that I woke somebody up or something, it's just words. The truth is that I am a facilitator that helps awakeness notice itself through a given unit. But that's what it is. I help you notice yourself. And I don't help Bob or Carol notice themselves. I help awakeness. So Bobness and Carolness will never get what they came for. Well, they will get more, but they will also get less because they will not be made special by a non-dual awakening. What will happen is they will see, my God, I'm as ordinary as a bump on a log. Yeah, and that's the truth. But this Maya, my God, this is the extraordinary ordinary. And my experience of this ordinary world is extraordinary. When I say I mean awakeness through the Fred unit. The experience that I'm having as a Fred is terrific. There's no Fred, but I'm enjoying one. There's a rumor of a Fred, and it connects this body to that rumor. But there's not anything not anything more or deeper than a rumor of Fred. It just isn't one. There's not one talking to you right now. There never has been one. There's not a Fred that has about 300 videos on YouTube. There's not a Fred that has a big teaching. There's Fred Ness over here, and that's what you're actually looking at. You're looking at Fred Ness and you're calling it Fred, but there's no Fred here. This body is conditioning. This body is a bunch of patterns that are working in, sort of synergistically. And as that occurs, there is, as these things reach a certain level of sophistication, I don't know exactly how this works, there arises a thought, and the thought is, man, there's a me here. And the instant that thought arises, the story that has been planted by the parents, positively, I mean, not getting down on anybody, they need to do it. But the story that has been implanted by the parents that you are a Fred, you are a Fred, you are a Fred, will jump right on that naked identification, and it will immediately become, oh, I see. I am distinct. There's a me here, and that me here is a Fred. I see. I've been set up for it. I've been trained for it. I've been trained for it by way of comparison. Fred wall, Fred lamp, Fred computer, the Fred's computer, Fred's room. The story just goes wild, right? And it's a story about a unit, and we're acting as if that unit is self-operative, and it's not. It doesn't have any personal agency. So can we complain? Can we control our thoughts? Well, in the absence of personal agency, I would have to say no. But there is something that is as important as controlling thoughts, and it looks to me that we can do it. Now, when I explain this to you, that it appears that we can do it, all the deep doo-doo non-dualists are going to leave or complain or put up bad YouTubes or put up bad comments on YouTube. You can put them up there, but I ain't going to publish them. So they'll never see the light of day. So knock yourself out, but it ain't going to get on the air. You're not going to diss me on my website, right? You can let me know what you think if I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to pay any attention to it if it's doesn't line up with the truth. And what the hell was I talking about before I ran over with that? God, you see what it does? It stops. It stops. And now Fred is left on the scene, and there is no Fred, but Fred Ness is left here without the guidance that comes through this voice. And this Fred thinks it's pretty smart and pretty helpful. It is neither. Don't let it run your life. It ran the hell out of mine. I mean, just beat it to nothing. So it's not like there is a font of wisdom that knows everything over here. There is an emptiness that allows for everything as it is, but I don't know what that everything is, and I don't know what it is, what the great allower is either. I don't know what I am. And I really do not know what I am. And by that, I mean, I now can tell you what I'm not. That I'm clear on. And that's what I can teach you. And if you listen to these videos, you come to the satsang, whatever. It's just a matter of helping you see what's untrue. I can't speak the truth any more than any other teacher can. And if you look at most of the teachings, they're not telling you the truth. They're telling you their version of the truth. And what I'm talking about here, it's as close as I can get to the truth, plus the Fred spin. Don't think this is coming straight from the mouth of God. It's not. Well, it's coming from the mouth of God, but it's coming also through the ear and mouth of Fred. So it is distorted by the time it gets here, and I can't tell you the truth, and the eye can't see itself. But I can tell you that I am that which is prior to consciousness, and your consciousness and my consciousness wants to know what, and it's just, there's only one consciousness. So I'm just I'm moving in and out of relative terms here, relative terms and absolute terms. And I know it's dizzying, but it's the best way for you to learn. How do I know? Because that's just the way it's always been. It's the best way to learn until we have another way. But I can show you what the difference being is that this teaching will not only show you what's not true, it will show you what is true. And that's what I do. I looked at the people today and it was just wonderful. Pop, 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 right? I'm not going to say everybody, but nearly everybody in that session today was awake. They came to see what they really are, and they came to see what they really are via discovering what they really are not. And this body, you are not that body. The thoughts here, they're not your thoughts, and you are not those thoughts. And the commentary that's always going through your head, that's not your commentary. It's just commentary. Commentary arises, and if it's unquestioned, it will be believed, which is they all know to be doing that. And this is wrong. They're over here. Da, 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 da. None of that's true. None of that's true. So can we control our thoughts? Go to war with your brain. See if you can control your thoughts. Decide ahead of time what you're going to think about and what you're not. And then try to hold to that and see if it works. I don't think we're going to have, I don't think we're going to have a steady thing going over there. If we could control our thoughts, would we want to? Hell, this thing thinks the thoughts that arise here are so poor that they will throw you in the ditch of life. So if I could think, believe thought, would I want to? No. I can't control it and I can't believe it. That's the truth. And the reason I can't believe thought is that I haven't found a thought that's true. I really have not. And I can't find a thought that's true because I question thoughts as they arise. And thoughts, most thoughts, if you will watch them, they are built around what is wrong here. Why this doesn't suit me, why this isn't enough. Oneness is saying, damn, this ain't enough. The people in the skillful means today, you got they cannot tell me what they are, but they can show me. I mean, I could see it. I could see it in smiles. I gave a talk to an AA type, a non-dual / AA podcast, although I think it's more like AA / non-dual. Yesterday, you can find a podcast, and it's on the website if you want to go listen to it. It's I think it's an hour, a little over an hour, hour and 10 minutes, something like that. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm saying if you're interested in finding out about that, about my experiences with alcoholism and addiction, and what do you think seeking is? If it's not an addiction, that's an addiction, and it's toxic. But the good news is there is sometimes a happy ending with that seeking, whereas there ain't one with alcoholism. There's not a happy ending. There's or drug addiction. There is an ending. There is an ending, and it can be said to be premature, which I notice is not true, but it can be said to be ugly, which that which allows would say is not true. But I would say that from the Fred unit perspective, it's lousy. It's really lousy. So I'm preaching. If I'm preaching, that means I've said all I can say, because we'll be listening to Fred if we go any further. So I'm going to shut this video off, and I'm going to see you again before too long. I thank you. And if you watch this long, reach over there and press the subscribe button, for goodness sake. And then press the little bell beside the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of these. And if you leave me some likes and some comments, that'll be good for this channel. If you're interested in supporting this channel in the easiest way imaginable, it would do some good. So, if it's not out of your way, God almighty, reduce to groveling for likes on a make-believe social media. God almighty. The things we do for relativity, isn't that right? Well, relativity is counts, and I got to earn a living, so here I am. Bye-bye. I love you.